Hello and welcome. Hello.
Hang on, we're just going to switch Jamie off and on again.
Hello, welcome to the first ever 21st episode of Whoniverse. Here with me, Jamie.
Me, Lewis.
Me, Brian.
Dum de 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 dum.
That was a very quick one.
I felt it. I moved along with it. Just to let the audience know what's going to be happening, we've got Voting in Matan is the first section, followed by our topic of the week. What is the best Peter Capaldi episode? I hope you both have brought your own suggestions.
We all know.
Yeah, well, we've got something to say about you, Lewis, anyway. Followed by the Nuvian News Network, hosted by our very own Lewis Brook. Followed by Who's True Lesson with Brian, where we're going to be looking at Terror of the Zygons. And then, after that, finally, we've got Whoniverse or Hogwash right at the end of the show to wrap it up. So, to start with, we've got Voting in the TARDIS, the best Smith episodes. The options were The Impossible Astronaut, Demon's Run, The Pandorica Opens, Nightmare in Silver. Which do you think?
Well, you know, it was always going to be the Pandorica Opens, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
it won by it was 43% of the votes.
Yeah.
You chose Demon's Run, didn't you?
Which I think it did a respectable amount. You know,
Yeah.
like it wasn't.
We'll come back to that, Lewis. Brian?
Out of those four, my favourite's Nightmare in Silver.
Nightmare in Silver. It's a really good one, written by Neil Gaiman. Some of the finest writing in Doctor Who in its entirety, actually.
Is it not called Demon's Run, that episode?
No, it's not called Demon's Run, Lewis. We've actually got a couple comments here,
okay.
Lewis. Actually, let's
A good man goes to war. Yeah.
let's start with a comment from. Let's just go Serbian. As soon as it's the only accent you can do. So we've got a comment here from Hoovian Walter. It's the third one in the list, Lewis. If you could just read that out in your finest Serbian accent.
Okay, well, yeah.
In Serbian, please.
How would I say that in Serbian? Let's see.
We interrupt this broadcast for technical difficulties. We also need to turn Lewis off and on.
The episode is not called Demon's Run. How can Lewis call himself a when he can't say the right name for episode? I vote goes to A Bad Man Goes to A Bad Man Goes to War.
So just for those I couldn't hear, the episode is not called Demon's Run. How can Lewis call himself a Hoovian when he can't get episode names right?
I would suggest that Jamie as well did not fact check on this one. So I will take the hit on that. Thank you very much. You know,
I wasn't here.
To Hoovie and Walter. I'll do the research.
It's just the fact that it was your favourite episode of.
Yeah, of Matt Smith's, and if I'd have only thought about the entire phrase that it said, like Demon's Run when
we've got another comment, Lewis.
Good man goes to war.
We're going to reverse order apparently from Biotic_Warlock.
He also says, "Isn't Demon's Run meant to be a good man goes to war?"
Yeah, isn't it?
Yes, it's a good man goes to war.
And then we got our final comment from Sora Tahoshi.
Oh, hello, Sora.
Actually,
do we dare do a Japanese accent?
Long time listener, actually.
Can I do a Japanese accent for Sora? Probably not.
Fun fact about Sora Tahoshi: he's been listening since episode 1.
We'll treat her with the respect.
Sora actually means sky in Japanese.
I think Nightmare in Silver. His acting in it is incredible. Back and forth, he reminded me so much of Gollum in Two Towers. Neil himself did a fabulous job with that episode.
That's the last episode that Sora Tahoshi will be listening to. It's been lovely speaking to you the last few weeks.
Arigato gozaimasu.
Sayonara.
Sayonara.
I'm so lonely.
Okay.
The 1970s call.
Was that not?
Yeah, they want the Chinese person back. No, in fact, some of the I saw an old episode, a classic episode of Who, and there was a white guy playing a Chinese guy, and it was one of Tom Baker. Yeah, and it was very much like Jamie's accent then.
If you ever get the chance, go on YouTube and just type in Japanese Doctor Who.
Oh, it's awesome.
It's
so...
I've seen it. I've seen it.
No, it's live action.
Oh,
There's
right.
a live action one.
Oh, is it?
No, there's anime one as well.
I've seen the
I've the live action one. It's like Power Rangers, but Doctor Who.
Excellent.
It's so good.
Excellent.
So just to go through just to recap the actual results, because we only did Pandorica Opens, didn't we? So Pandorica Opens, 43% in first place. Second place, Demon's Run, 33%. It could have been higher had it had the appropriate title, but whatever, Lewis. The Impossible Astronaut, 19%. And finally, in last place, very sadly, Nightmare in Silver. Now, I voted Pandorica Opens because I credit that to the episode of Doctor Who that kept me watching Doctor Who.
Yeah.
It was a strong series anyway, but that episode itself was spectacular. It was a marvel.
Yeah.
It's what you don't need to have seen all the. It helps, sure, but you don't need to have seen all the previous episodes to understand that episode, and it sums up everything that's happened in Doctor Who so far spectacularly. It reintroduces you and all the villains that have been in the show. Then Cybermen were there, Daleks were there, the Silurians, everything was there, and he was like, "Come at me, bro." And if you're and I bet if you're a brand new viewer of Doctor Who in that episode, you're like, "Who is this guy?
Yeah.
What's his story? Like, why is everyone so scared of him? Why are they locking him in a box?"
Yeah, you need to see the rest, really. You need to go back and look at it.
Yeah, but it does create wonder. And that's one of the things about Doctor Who. It's spectacle, isn't it? You're very in wonder and awe. And
I think to be fair, it was. I probably joined Who after that episode, but I did go back and watch it. I think one of my friends told me
because
to.
I remember you said that you fell off Doctor Who for a while, didn't you?
Yeah,
And then
definitely.
you came back, you crawling back, and so did I. I fell off during the Tennant era. Not because I don't like Tennant, but because I didn't have regular access to TV at the time. So I missed out on a lot of his episodes, including Blink, which I'm going to rectify soon, especially for the listeners. Well, they're all on Netflix, so there's no excuse. I'm just going to watch them all.
I am actually rewatching Capaldi at the moment, and you were right about Capaldi. That second time round, without the backdrop of Smith, it's so much better.
You can just go back and look at Capaldi's episodes. I find they're just majestic. I'd even go as far as saying, sure, it's more standalone stories. It's not as cohesive as Matt Smith's, but all the standalone stories are brilliant.
Yeah,
and it's more quotable as well. It's like how about Dodgems? When he's driving around house and he goes, "You're probably wondering where I got this cup of tea." Answer: I'm a doctor. Deal with it.
I actually watched those two episodes. The ones with when Skaro comes back and you've got Davos there, and he leaves Davos to die on that planet when he was a kid. I explained in a few.
Davros.
All right,
it's Devros.
Devros. Well, right.
Davos is a town in Switzerland.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I'm just not very good with names, it would seem.
Davos is also an actor that was in Doctor Who.
Dave Ross.
No, there's an actual that guy called Davos. No, he was Lord Davos in Game of Thrones, and then in Doctor Who, he's that guy with that long, complicated name. He was in Eccleston's era. You know who I'm talking about, that old guy. No, he opened his head.
Oh yes, on the Slovene.
Yeah.
Raxacori from the planet Raxacori.
Yes.
Falafatorius.
Yeah. Anywho.
Yes. Anywho.
So that pretty much wraps it up for voting in the TARDIS anyway. There's not much more to say there. Everyone, Pandorica Opens is a clear favourite of Smith's era.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people crying out saying, "Where's Vincent? I'm a Doctor. Where's Vincent? I'm a Doctor." Answer: it's not. It's an amazing episode, but it doesn't quite match up to the other ones.
I think with Smith's era, the quality was there. Almost constantly. There weren't many duff episodes.
I think that's what we covered last episode as well. We said that there'll be so much of this era that people just aren't going to, they're not going to drop because we can't fit it all into one poll. That's the thing.
Yeah. So, the next poll is Peter Capaldi. Looking at his best episodes. I know Lewis has got a favourite. It's...
Well, is it?
Heaven Sent.
Hellbent. Hellbent and Heaven Sent are two of the episodes, and Hellbent's the better one. Also, I believe, if it is actually called Hellbent, you've made me doubt myself.
It is called Hellbent, yes.
Yeah.
You got that
And
right.
I'm pretty certain Heaven Sent is the one where he's stuck in the...
I thought
No,
Hellbent was the one where he was stuck in the Time Lord prison.
Yeah, I
Heaven
think-
Sent is the one where he's back on Gallifrey.
Yeah.
Are you
that's
sure?
the thing.
Okay, well, you're going to have a lot of angry Whovians.
Well, I'm just looking it up now to
Angry
make,
Geek.
I tell you,
make sure.
whilst you're looking it up, I did write a little synopsis about Peter Capaldi.
Yeah.
I read it extra slow for you, Lewis.
Okay.
Peter Capaldi is a lifelong Doctor Who fan who, when 7 years old, had a letter printed in Doctor Who magazine saying, "I love Doctor Who." I love Doctor Who.
I love Doctor Who.
That wasn't actually that bad for me, actually, was it?
I don't know.
He went on to play numerous roles that would lead up to his eventual casting as the Doctor. These included playing a doctor at the World Health Organization in World War Z. If you've ever seen that, his actual character, name was Doctor at Who.
It was actually Who Doctor.
Was it Who
Yes.
Doctor? And he was also Malcolm Tucker in The Thick of It.
Fantastic.
Did you ever see that
Brilliant.
It's one of my favourite
Yeah,
programmes
amazing.
show? What was it like?
He shouts a lot.
Was
He's
he
just
just
an angry Scotsman.
He was a
you
spin
know.
doctor, wasn't he?
Yes,
He was,
he's basically Alistair Campbell.
Yeah, he was like FD.
Yeah. He's exactly Alistair Campbell. He's based on
Yeah.
Alistair Campbell, the character.
So, he's been in 5 Christmas specials, the most Christmas specials out of any Doctor, because there was such many hiatuses between each of the seasons. The 50th anniversary, he was also in. And he was in he was in 40 episodes as well. The least amount for other Doctors as well. Other than Eccleston.
Yeah.
I think Tennant was in 46, Smith was in 44, and now Capaldi's in 40, and I think Jodie Whittaker's due to be in 12. So we got some suggestions from listeners. We've got a lot less suggestions because, like we said, there's every episode is a great episode of this era, whereas in Capaldi's era there were more.
There are a couple of dub episodes.
Yeah.
As I say, he was a fan of the programme.
So these are the ones that popped up most often. We've got Flatline, which is probably one of my favourite ones. The one where the TARDIS shrinks and he's using his hand.
Oh,
to
that
crawl.
is, yeah.
It's like iconic.
Introduction to a new enemy in that one as well, like the Boneless.
When it comes to special effects in Doctor Who, this one I have to put right at the top. The paintings moving and it was just so believable. In other Doctor Who episodes, when we do special effects, it's like you can believe it's not real, can't you? You can believe, this is fake, this is done in a studio. Whereas in this one, you can actually believe it's actually happening. Like, he goes to open a door, and then suddenly the doorknob's not there. It's just a painting on the wall.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh wait, the door's not there. The door's also a painting. How do I get out of this room? And it was just completely building up and building up. It was remarkable. The other common suggestion is also one of my favourite Capaldi episodes, The Return of Dr. Mysterio.
Yeah. The Christmas special.
It was the Christmas special. I can't remember what year now. I think it was 2015. Absolutely spectacular. Then we got The Time Heist. Self-explanatory title. Then we also have Heaven Sent. Is that the episode you were looking for?
I'm still trying to find it.
Yeah. Well, we've also got The Girl Who Died.
Yeah.
Which was another very popular one.
Yeah, another Doctor Who, Game of
Yeah.
Thrones.
Yeah,
That one?
Yeah, I forgot what her name was now.
Character was called a Shielder or Shear.
Yeah, she's called Maisie something.
Maisie Williams. That's it, Maisie
the one.
Williams. Great actress who was also in The Girl Who Lived. Girl Who Lived, I think, was the finale of Capaldi's era as well, wasn't it? When they're watching the end of the universe.
Oh,
if you remember.
Yeah.
So I was wrong. It is Heaven Sent that is.
I was saying I was right.
You were right. It's Heaven Sent that's where he's trapped in the prison.
Dear listeners, we almost got another episode wrong where Lucy's favourite episode, he can't remember the title. So, when we're looking at... what's your favourite episode in Capaldi's series, Brian?
Mine is Into the Dalek.
Into the Dalek?
Yes.
Is that the one where Clara turns into a Dalek?
No,
that's...
Where she actually becomes trapped in a Dalek and she's saying, help me, help me. And the Dalek is saying, exterminate.
That was the Witcher's Familiar, I think. It was a double header with the first two of the second series.
Yeah, I think it was the opening episode for the season.
Yeah. Into the Dalek's one where they get shrunk down and go into Rusty the Dalek.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was very borrowers.
Yeah. Slightly biased because a friend of mine's in it.
Really?
Ben Crompton.
How do you know him?
He's through friend of a friend.
Friend of a friend of a friend.
No, just twice removed. Once removed.
Just get him on the show.
Yeah. I don't know that well, unfortunately. But he's
gonna be in Doctor Who. So that's how I imagine you talk to your friends.
It's exactly how I feel.
I'm Brian. I'm on a podcast.
I tend not to have to introduce myself as Brian when I'm talking to my friends.
I am Brian. Yes, we know Brian. Okay. I'm Brian.
I'm not the Messiah. I'm not the Messiah.
You're one of those people, aren't you? Where whenever you walk into
the
thing is, at the start of every podcast, he always feels the need to announce himself. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Lewis, it's quite clear what your favourite is.
Yeah. It's actually called Heaven Sent.
It is. So, if you tell us a bit more about that episode.
It's the episode where Capaldi's doctor is trapped inside a Gallifreyan prison. Over and over, he keeps having to recreate his body. He notices that the positions of the stars are moving over billions of years, trapped in this prison, until eventually he escapes.
We actually find out. We actually find out that he has another. The Doctor has many abilities or superpowers depending on where you're from. And one of those abilities is he's able to take one glance at the stars and know exactly what year it is.
Through interstellar drift and all that sort of thing, there's some nice little lines out of there from the Brothers Grimm, talking about the bird that chisels away at the mountain. Once every 100 years it comes to sharpen its beak on the mountain, and when the mountain's completely chiseled away, 1 second of eternity would pass. Very, very poetic, very nice, little thing read by Capaldi.
What does that story even mean?
What does it mean?
Never give up. Keep trying.
Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna turn around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Or tell a lie and hurt you.
Bet you didn't know we had a special guest star in today, Mr. Rick Astley. Rick, get out. This is not an 80s music podcast.
Goodbye, Rick.
I did that in post, but
the Brothers Grimm was actually the nickname that my dad and my uncles were given. My uncle was given when they were younger.
Very nice, very nice.
So, you want Into the Dalek as your option?
Yes, please.
I really want Flatline just because for me it's the most iconic. The Doctor's hand coming out with TARDIS and crawling along.
Yeah.
I'd say that's one of the more iconic images of Doctor Who in a modern era.
Very Addams Family.
Very Addams Family, yeah. I call it the Thing episode.
Yeah.
Yours is
Heaven Sent.
Hellbent. Oh, Heaven Sent. You confused me over what the title of the episode is.
Shut up, Jamie.
And we need a fourth one.
So we've got a few suggestions there. So let's take the fan suggestions. So we've got Flatline, Heaven Sent, and what was yours?
Into the Dalek.
Into the Dalek.
Time Heist.
Time Heist is brilliant. I quite liked that one. Return of Dr. Mysterio, excellent.
Return of Dr. Mysterio is one where I want to see the prequel.
Yeah. I want to see Dr. Mysterio.
Yeah.
And the girl who died, it starts off the whole arc with...
I think it's a Shielder, isn't it?
With a Shielder, yeah. A Shielder who becomes no name after a while because she can't remember her own name.
She actually, I remember she said 48,000 hours.
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean? 48,000 hours is how long it takes to perfect any art in the known universe. Sure, I can die. I can still suffer mortal wounds, but 48,000 hours, I can pierce armor with bows from within a few feet. I can launch 10 arrows in half the time, faster than any man ever could. she's a
Badass.
she's proper badass. Yeah.
She's becoming typecast then, isn't she? Amazing.
Yeah.
Because I've never watched Game of Thrones, but I believe she's quite hard in that.
Yeah,
She's-
she tends to
Does she
do
kill-
period
does
drama.
she kill the
and
Shadow
that sort of
She,
thing.
she,
She-
spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, anyone who's not watched the last series of Game of Thrones.
To be fair,
If you've
yeah,
not watched it, you deserve all the spoilers you get.
If you haven't watched it by now, you're not going to. Yeah, she killed the Shadow King. She's very typecast as Arya Stark, and I think she's got a lot of range. Actually, she's a really good actress. I've always been impressed with her, rather than her co-star Sansa. Well, the actress who plays Sansa Stark in the show went on to play what's her face in X-Men. She's not a good actress. She's just so I talk like this all the time.
I never saw her part in X-Men, so meh.
Wow.
Yeah, no, let's not get into the Marvel verse and all that sort of thing.
Yeah. So fourth option.
Right, I think we should go with Time Heist because it's probably the best one. Return of Doctor Mysterio is actually a special,
Okay.
I mean,
I'm happy with Time Heist.
Okay,
there's
so
some great lines in it.
I won't return Doctor Mysterio, so we'll put it to a vote. Time Heist say aye,
Right.
and Doctor Mysterio say aye. Aye.
outvoted Jamie.
So Time Heist it is. So that's the poll for next week. Which do you think it's going to win, though? It's a bit too close to call, I find, for this one as well, for Peter Capaldi. There's no standout episodes, I
No,
find.
I mean, I honestly think that Heaven Sent's going to take it.
I think maybe, but Into the Dalek is a really popular one as well,
Yeah.
though. They're all remarkable in their own little ways, and Flatline I think will come dead last. I think it might flatline on the polls, actually.
Yeah, yeah. I think you're right on that. I mean, it was a brilliant episode. New enemy,
exactly.
but I mean, the new enemy hasn't had time to sit in with the and they haven't done an episode of them since. So.
Yeah. Speaking of new enemies, if there's one enemy I want to pop up in Doctor Who again, well, not in Doctor. It's not in Doctor Who, but it's in the Whoniverse. Because I've been listening to our earlier episodes of the podcast, and we're at the episode of Class where the Blossom is coming.
Ah, yeah, that's.
I think I'd just love to see the Doctor deal with that issue, where he comes back, Class has failed, just like it did in real life, and he finds
got
out
a big finish.
the entire that's a good one. The entire planet is pink because it's just been covered in blossom. All the marine life is dead. All the people are dead. There's just blossom and blossom and blossom. How does it deal with that?
Well, I don't think you can. I think at that point, like the Earth is done and he needs to move on.
Next planet.
Yeah. Either that or extend extend the time vortex around the Earth and reverse time, or just Superman it, fly the TARDIS around the Earth really, really fast.
Until the Earth
Spoiler
rotate.
What, that film came out in the 1970s, mate. If you haven't seen Superman by now.
Pretty certain Superman 2 was 1980.
Was it?
First Superman came out in 78.
78, yeah.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
They didn't make films that quick back then. It took a couple of years. Like, let's rinse it first.
Yeah.
They rinsed it for a couple of years before they went on to make another one.
Well, yeah, you would have rental after it had hit the cinemas, and that was big back then as well. It wouldn't be like today where
What's rental? Please explain.
Blockbusters. Okay.
What's Blockbusters?
Look it up on the internet, kids.
What's a videotape?
So yeah, back in the day before we could stream live shows.
Hang on. The time travelling is now 1975.
Wait, no, a little bit further than that. I think the 1990s were all mad with this same.
Okay, it's
infliction.
1990. There's a big shop where it's entirely blue and there's a torn ticket on top.
Called Blockbusters.
Captain Marvel just crashed through the roof.
There are actually 2 Blockbusters left in the world.
One's in Alaska.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know where the other one is. I can't.
Illinois.
Is it?
Yeah.
John Oliver donated a load of Russell Crowe's things to the Blockbusters in Alaska.
John Oliver, the guy I used to work with.
No, he's a British comedian.
Different John Oliver.
We don't know all the guys you
John.
worked with, Brian.
We don't, Brian.
No. I thought insurance is a very incestuous industry. You know?
I'm sure if you ever see him again, you'll say, "Hi, I'm Brian." I know Brian.
No, if I ever see him again, I will hide.
Why, do you owe him money?
No, he's just a freak. I hope he doesn't listen to the podcast.
Hi there, John. If you're listening, Brian thinks you're a freak.
Yeah, it is at 1128 Galloway Lane.
Gallifrey Lane.
Galloway Lane. But you know what, we should do a road trip and we'll go to Blockbusters one day, just for all time's sake.
The one in Illinois.
Can we go to the one in Illinois because it'll be warmer than Alaska?
Yeah, sure. I mean, Alaska we can go do some
I'm not sure.
snowboarding.
I'll have to check with the wife. Alaska.
I knew that was where you were going.
It was worth it. Right, let's move swiftly on to UV News Network.
Okay.
Sound like a chain smoker, man.
Yeah.
Are we going to stick with the old theme music?
UV News Network. Alright. Wait, we didn't have the music prepared.
No, is there an advert before it?
There might be an advert before it. No, we've got it. Right,
Presenting Lewis Brook.
Cut.
Before we have to pay for it.
So yeah, this is news then. We've got a few stories today. One being the release of, and I brought pictures as well, just for your.
Oh wow! For an audio-based show, it's very useful.
Yeah. So the release of Tennant specials on a limited edition Blu-ray Steelbook, which I'm sure you will get, Jamie.
Can I borrow your phone, Brett? I think pre-order it.
Yeah, it is on pre-order.
It looks really nice. It's like a steel tin edition.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's got the limited edition
on the front, giving a high five.
It's like a regeneration high five, isn't it? And Sims is on the back with that evil grin of the master.
John Sims as the master was amazing.
Yeah.
But Michelle Gomez was better.
Right, so this is going to be released on Monday the 2nd of September. You can pre-order it now from Amazon. I'm not trying to plug it or anything, but it does sound like that. The features it's going to have on it, we're talking the specials, the Next Doctor, Planet of the Dead, Waters of Mars, End of Time Part 1 and 2.
Yeah, Part 2, End of Time Part 2 was the first ever New Year's special of Doctor Who.
Really? Mm-hmm. Was it a New Year's special?
Part 1 was on Christmas, Part 2 was on New Year's Day.
What an excellent present.
Brian, confirm?
You are correct.
There you go, I'm always right. I know my Doctor Who.
Well done.
Well, I actually know the titles of episodes as well, Brian, which is very useful.
Yeah, okay. So
there's a veiled dig.
So yeah, there's the artwork itself is it allows in the backdrop of TARDIS you've got David Tennant looking like he's just about to regenerate. It's quite an interesting picture.
It's got like a red tint across it, and then the characters sort of superimposed on the back of it. If you're familiar with Star Wars, it looks kind of like a Star Wars poster.
Yeah, it's similar. Yeah, I'm trying to think where I saw that before.
Yeah,
it does look like that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's got
this style.
It's got a lot of the characters and things from the show. There's the planet. There's the planet Earth. You've got the TARDIS in front of the Earth. You've got the red bus from the special. Is that one Planet of the Dead? Yeah. That one's Planet of the Dead. You've got the Master dwarfing all the other characters, looking very sinister in that way, and Cybermen and a few other choice characters around the outside. What are these? These are zombies. They look like zombies. Is that from Planet of the Dead?
Yes.
Because it's a thriller.
That's from Waters of Mars.
In the night, no one's gonna save you from the demons of a night.
See, the issue is I haven't seen.
Sorry, Michael Jackson's just walked in.
Yeah, Michael,
get out.
Can you get out?
It's going to be some moonwalk out, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. He was a bit loud on the moonwalk there.
Well, he's been dead 10 years.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so moving on from the specials, there's basically BBC4 are doing like an extra special broadcast to celebrate a century since John Pertwee's birth. they're having
century since Doctor Who. Then
no, they're having they're having Sean Pertwee present the show, and he'll trace his father's career in this show, and he'll be giving.
I absolutely love it when the sons and daughters of actors, or just famous people in general, or even like just normal people like me, pick up the mantle of the bat or whatever, to pick up a torch and just carry on the legacy. Like what's his name? The crocodile hunter. Steve Irwin. His son posted a picture on Twitter today as we're recording.
Have been stung to death by a stingray?
No, that'll come later.
Too soon.
Yeah.
No, it's been over 10 years, don't worry, Brian.
Is that the cut-off point? Because I've got loads of Lady Diana jokes.
No, I mean, it was never too soon.
But there was this picture of him feeding an alligator.
Yeah.
In front of an audience, and there was his son feeding the same alligator from the same day and the same sort of get up, and it's the same angle, same picture. It was just a great photo. It's just just passing on the torch sort of thing.
Yeah. So he's from him going and wrestling alligators. His son will go and wrestle alligators in his place.
He didn't wrestle alligators.
I'm sure he did at some point or another.
Wrestle pythons.
Well, alligators, pythons, both reptiles. Let's tomato. Right, so moving swiftly on then. The Mirror are running an interesting storyline, and basically they're stating that one of the new stories in the season 12 Doctor Who is going to be to do with plastic clogging up the world's oceans. So there's speculation that this is going to be to do with the automatons. There's going to be some sort of storyline behind that. There's no
number of
details.
seasons in Doctor Who is catching up to the number of Doctors.
Yeah.
As in New Who.
Yes.
So there's no solid evidence on this, but the Mirror tends to get things right for some reason. They've got a number of things that they've gotten right in the past.
It's because they have lots of snoops.
So it's another PC message, political PC message from the annals of Chibnall. Okay, Chibnall.
Jar Jar Chibnall.
So
it's happening second, right, Doctor Who?
I don't know about you guys, but I can get behind this one. I believe that presenting how we clean up the planet to a future generation is a good thing, regardless of where it's presented. I think
what I'm concerned about is Chibnall is going to make the same mistake he did last time, where he wasn't taking any risks. He was like, let's educate the audience, which is fine. That's what early Doctor Who used to do, but that's not. We're not in early Doctor Who anymore. That's not what the audience wants. We want spectacle. Yeah. We want moving stories. I mean, the Rosa Parks episode was amazing, and they're great one-off episodes, but we want a continuous story about Doctor Who saving the planet, not saving the day.
Yeah, that's
what Smith's episode was. Well, it didn't just stop at saving the planet; he'd save the universe, and so did Eccleston and Tennant, and even Capaldi to an extent as well. He actually went to the ends of the universe to save the universe. I mean, there's Jodie Whittaker's Doctor. Yeah. Save the day.
Yeah.
Let's stop this other time traveller.
Rather than.
But there's no bigger.
Yeah, there's no bigger.
I mean, there's Tim Shaw. He wanted to destroy the planet at one point. He wanted to take over, but he only really went. To be fair, with Tim Shaw, it was a rip-off Predator, wasn't it?
Yeah, it seemed it. Yeah. So I believe it is of the utmost importance that we educate people on dealing with the more pressing issue of pollution in the planet, especially the amounts of plastic in our world's oceans. Now the thing is, we don't really have the facilities, and many governments don't provide the facilities to be able to recycle these things. There are a number of countries that are working on this sort of thing.
Well, that's the thing about this providing facilities to recycle. It's also about reducing your own usage of plastic.
Yeah, it certainly is.
When you go shopping for, do you want to put your oranges in a little plastic bag to carry it around the supermarket? Or are you just going to put it straight in the bag and
And this is the thing, you know, like we're not encouraged by our governments to recycle. We in the UK at least we don't have adverts on TV saying this is what you should be doing with this material.
There's this amazing advert going on right now. Flushable wipes, block pipes.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. There's just a few stats on who's the best at recycling, and apparently 4 countries in the world: Germany, Austria, Korea, South Korea, and Wales for some reason are the
That's the home of Doctor Who.
Yeah, exactly. And Wales is actually the best recycling and has the best plans for pushing it. By 50/50 they want to be neutral in recycling.
Have you ever been to Wales?
I have once been to Wales.
You say that as if it's the South Pole.
My friend, one of my friends used to live in Wales, and she'll be listening to this on Sunday. So, basically, I think it was her who told me. I don't quote me on this, but I think it was her who told me that that Wales is beautiful as long as it stops raining long enough.
I think when I went to Wales for a Doctor Who experience back in 2014. Jealous much?
Yes,
totally.
Yeah, it was amazing, by the way.
Rub it in, Jamie.
Thank
Cheers.
you. It was a big purpose-built building. Anyway, everything was so clean. Like, you know, when an area is so clean, like you feel bad for throwing rubbish on the floor.
Yeah.
It was one of those areas. It was so
Yeah.
not that I'm the sort of person to throw rubbish,
Yeah.
but you know, when like you might just drop something walking down the street and like, there
Chasing
now,
it,
I'm not picking it up. In Wales, you'd want to chase down that plastic bag, wrestle it down to the ground, handcuff it to the tree, and order a bin. You know,
Get me a bin, stat. So Wales by
Yes, sir, need a bin.
2050 are looking to completely be neutral in recycling in dealing with their garbage altogether.
Okay.
The EU said by 2030 they want to be down to 65% of all their waste recycled. But this is the thing. They'll never get there because the Eastern European bloc just aren't complying. Now. Sorry, Eastern European.
That was very political what you just said.
I know.
Just so you know, we have no political...
We have political views, but there's no political affiliation
on this podcast.
All right, so thanks to Ace Creeper. I do like Ace Creeper's YouTube show, and do sign up to it if you are a Doctor Who fan. You probably already found your way there, but if you haven't looked at Ace Creeper's work, he's got a very good news and rumours channel on YouTube. Thanks to him for his suggestion that on this article. It might be that they'll be reintroducing the Sea Devils on this one. Now, I knew you'd like this one, Bri.
You mentioned this in episode 3 of the podcast when we were discussing what enemies you would like to come back to the show.
Yeah.
And you said Sea Devils. And I said, what are Sea Devils? And he said, well, the devils of the sea, Jamie.
So, yeah, if Ace is right, then you get your wish.
That would be awesome.
And so, what would you like to see the Sea Devils doing?
Do we have forks?
Yeah, they like Trident.
Well, we've seen the Sea Devils in Warriors of the Deep. Team up with Silurians.
I remember that one. Warriors on the Cheap. Yes.
Yeah.
Wasn't a good episode.
I would be honest. I think Warriors, we've talked about this before, but I maintain it's a good storyline, but awfully executed.
One of my favourite enemies is the Ice Warriors, just saying. Right?
So, in terms of storyline, what would you see as a fitting storyline for the return of the?
I
mean, you've got some sort of background.
Getting a bit hacked off with the pollution in the seas, which is where they live.
Yeah, which is
the
service
background we've got. Just to show mankind.
Yeah.
So Doctor Who's ripping off DC basically because that's the plot for the Thing. This one thing.
Yeah.
That's literally the plot for this one thing.
So. Yeah, in things because I did a bit of research on the whole Silurian Sea Devils relationship, and the like cousins or something like that, aren't they? In terms of the species are quite and they do tend to bind together. You know, like for instance in Warriors on the Cheap. Even though I didn't watch that one, that was the one Rihu that I didn't watch, and thank goodness for that, you know. Would you see that a rogue faction of the Silurians break off and help them?
Oh no, I prefer it just to be
pure Sea Devils.
I just want to see if any of the old enemies going to come back.
Yeah,
I want to do it in the way where they, to sort of revalidate them into the Whoniverse, to pit them against another classic villain. A bit like when we did 4 million Cybermen against 3 Daleks. We will destroy you with 1 Dalek. Cybermen are only superior in one aspect. What is that? Dying. I'd love to see the Sea Devils, go against another, maybe, I always say, I really like the Ice Warriors, from Mars.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Really, I really like them, and I think a warrior race like theirs, or even with some Tyrants, make them serious again.
Yeah, I like the silly element to the Sansarans. I mean, you know that the warriors and everything, but I like that they're sort of tongue in cheek.
What's his name? The comical one, the comic relief Santaran.
The one who's part of the Paternoster.
Yeah.
Batch number 12, or whatever it is. Yeah.
I'm having a great deal of.
It'd be really funny if the Santarans came to invade Earth and they saw him and you have brought shame on the Santaran, right? Santaran hot.
Sorry, Mum. Yeah.
I didn't tell the doctor hears about this.
Right, so on to you and the history.
Yes. Brian. So this week we looked at Terror of the Zygons. For me, this was my introduction to Doctor Who. Yes, I am that old.
Wow.
This was the first story I remember watching as a small boy. The Pi 32-inch television, where you had to get up and press buttons to switch channels.
So, set the scene, yeah. How old?
No remote control.
Young. 4 or 5, I would guess.
And what year?
That sort of age.
What year?
Numerical age.
What year was this, Brian?
The day you was born.
No, I'm turning to Frankie Howard for some reason. No.
He's one of those people. It's so old. He can't remember how old he is.
Yeah. I would say it was about 1976.
It's like, I know it has Berry at the beginning of it.
1970 what?
6, I would say. But it's certainly the first episode I remember watching. Absolutely gripped from the start of it. Bit of background. So the Doctor, Harry and Sarah Jane are summoned by the Brigadier back to Earth.
I found that quite amusing because he gives the Brigadier a proper grilling.
He does.
Space-time telegraph. And what was the line about? I gave you instructions only to use that in an emergency.
This is an emergency.
Oil, an emergency.
And he sits down and he lays down, has a nap.
Yeah, he says it's a primitive form of energy.
Yeah.
And what does he say?
You learn to.
Something about crystals or something like that. Yeah.
But it's just a cracking story in my opinion.
There's some truth to crystals, by the way, but we are actually able to gather energy from crystals.
Well, you'd think
ways away from actually implementing it, but it would require mining again, reopening the mines.
Well, you'd think that there would be, because a lot of sci-fi tend to go at this, like energy extraction.
Science fiction is based on facts, isn't it? Yeah, and the force is real. Midichlorians are microscopic bacteria running through our bodies.
But do they produce a force that can be used at will?
It depends.
That's a no for the listeners out there.
Do not underestimate the power of the Force.
Well, it's like in Robot Chicken when they're interviewing new people to come and join the the fleet. And now sometimes Darth Vader will get angry and he'll come and he'll come and he'll strangle you and he'll think you're using the Force. Now what you do is you have to pretend and make him feel like he'll go and then drop to the ground, and 2 other fellas are going to come and drag you away, slap on a new moustache, and you're back in. This fella over here, he's died 22 times, isn't that right? Yes, I have. His hair with a beard and top hat.
I love Robot Chicken, especially the Star Wars.
Yeah. But no. So I wrote a little synopsis of how I felt about Terror of the Zygons. This is a very genuinely good story with reasonable reason for everything occurring. The Brigadier calls the Doctor to investigate some oil plants collapsing under the sea. The Doctor was an absolute necessary character in the episode, where aside from Brigadier, he was the only person thinking outside the box in an attempt to solve the mystery in what would eventually be a Loch Ness monster being controlled by the Zygons. I did find it weird, however, that Sarah Jane was so fascinated by automatic doors. At one point, you know, when she went behind the bookcase and Sarah's like staring at the automatic door going up and down, and she's like, "What on earth is this?"
This is witchcraft.
I'm like thinking, what year is it? We've
It's
got
before
lifts.
automatic doors.
It can't be, because we've got elevators.
It will be. It was the 1970s.
Well, Brian, you're a dinosaur. Can you tell us?
When did
we had automatic doors in the 70s? I can confirm.
Why was she so like?
Yeah.
Because like she's travelled through space and time in a tiny police box, and yet she's so enthralled by automatic doors. And like I'm just there thinking, every time she walked back, I'm like, whoa, it moved by itself.
Well, I think she thinks that it's going to trap her. I think that's the idea behind that scene.
Because that's what people do when they put doors in their home. Trap them. Every door's a weapon.
Every door can be used as a weapon.
So what did you think of the episode?
I thought that it was good. I enjoyed it. It was loud though, you know, like you had the bagpipes, you had, you know,
there's a lot of incidental music in it.
There's a lot of music that is really, you know, as well. The sounds of engines.
My TV is always on quiet in my office where I watch Doctor Who, and you know, so I've got very good hearing, so I never have any problems with it. But when the bagpipes came out, my wife shouted from downstairs, "Turn that off!"
Yeah.
I'm like, shut up.
And it was difficult to keep in line with the storyline while the bagpipes were playing in the background.
I think it was intentional though.
Yeah, like
we never got to see the bagpipe play though.
I suppose it does set the mood. It does set the mood for the room though, doesn't it? You're like, you're quite disturbed by the bagpipe playing,
you can
even
tell
though
it's just laid on top of the. It didn't really.
Yeah, supposed to be the landlord of the Fox Inn playing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mr. Stereotypical Scotsman.
Yeah, and by the way, the only Scotsman in the piece that actually had a Scottish accent, you know, the Lord sort of had a Scottish accent, but you could tell that he was putting it on. Everybody, this is the thing about Classic Who. Everybody who's meant to have a specific accent, like the Australian episode, there was one Australian, there was a token Australian guy.
I didn't see that one. I missed that one.
The
entire episode was upside down though, wasn't it?
No,
you had to rotate your screens for realism.
Well, no, you just had to rotate yourself upside down to sit on the couch. But as I say, it's
Yeah, I don't think any of the actors in it were Scottish. The guy who played the landlord was in Crossroads.
Yeah,
I think he played a character called Shuggy McPhee in Crossroads.
I believed his Scottish accent. I actually believed his Scottish accent. The rest of them, no, I didn't believe.
I think a lot of them were really believable. Like when people think Scottish, like, oh, I'm from Scotland. I go to the library some books, but we don't all
not necessarily that accent.
But we don't all. Not it's a bit like England. There's so many different dialects of English.
It's completely like everywhere. The dialects are completely.
There's a Stole My TV accent, Scouse. There's
Scotland.
The Geordies and then the people who live south of Geordieland that
we
believe
do not
they're
speak of them.
Believe that they're not Geordies but really are. Sorry, Sunderland.
The landlord was played by a guy called Angus Lenny, and he actually was Scottish.
Oh, right. Well, that's why I believed his Scottish accent then, because he was Scottish.
It's one of those things in Classic Who, like, if you're not Scottish, you be Scottish, and if you are Scottish, you be English.
The Duke of
It's like, we're going to make you act, goddammit.
The guy who played the Duke was born in London.
In London, yeah. I knew he was...
Is it Duke or Duke?
He was very well spoken, and you could tell that he had a
posh Scottish accent, wasn't it?
Yeah, he tried to do the posh Scottish accent, but he kept falling through. It's sort of like listening to Izzy, you know, when he's taking calls.
It was a good bit of history as well into England as well, where this is like a turning point where people may have had cleaners and maids and servants in their homes. I mean, it's not about the oil plants; it's about the government creating new job opportunities. And suddenly there were more jobs going around, so it no longer needed to work as a servant. It was no longer required because there were other things that they could do. So we go work on the oil rink. Nobody wanted to work in the mines except the people that already worked there.
Loads of people wanted to work in the mines. I mean,
nobody wants to work in the mines.
Your job doesn't necessarily. You don't think in school, "Oh, I want to be a miner," but there were a hell of a lot. There were a hell of a lot of miners in the UK until Thatcher closed them down.
Well, I agree with what Thatcher did. We didn't need mines anymore.
I thought we were doing politics, guys.
No politics.
Sorry.
And Jamie's just trying to wind me up on this point, and I know it.
Thatcher was a great Prime Minister.
You can tell they're young. They don't remember the horror.
They'll believe
the horror of the Thatchers.
Right, well, moving
Should we get back on to
Yeah, definitely. The storyline itself was excellent. As you say, the Doctor was an integral part of the entire storyline. I don't agree that the Doctor, was the only person who was pushing the storyline though, and who was investigating. I believe that Sarah Jane actually at one point said, "Let's go back and check the library for any clues on where."
And you know what he found in the library? Absolutely nothing. It was like, oh, he's the president of so and so. I was like, well, that's going to come up later on.
It did. It was integral.
It was Chekhov's gun.
The thing is, that was not needed because he could have brought that up himself later on.
Yeah. But it's
I remember like, where's the goddamn door? Where's the goddamn switch to open the door? And so I think he was on a ladder. I know you know where the switch was. But there you are checking the lowest shelf. Like he literally, it has to be implemented in your mind because he brought out such a funky ladder. How can you not remember climbing on that? And when a door opens,
that was
it kind of stands out, don't you think?
Yeah. That was a seriously funky ladder.
She's in by opening doors, so you know.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's automatic.
So, how should we mark this?
Tentacles.
Loch Ness Monsters out of 10.
Well, we did last Tom Baker when we did Jelly Babies.
Yes, let's do it with Jelly Babies.
We can do scarves.
Wasn't Jelly Babies...
No.
What
are you thinking that's incorrect?
Tom Baker was the Jelly Baby man.
Yeah, right, okay. It's just...
Peter Capaldi had Jelly Babies as well.
He did.
Yeah. But it was just a nod to Tom Baker, just to make it very clear, Lewis.
Okay.
I know how confused you get with Doctor Who sometimes.
Okay.
just so you know, listeners, he says shh, and he put his fingers on my lips. And,
that never happened.
Gazed into Jamie's eyes.
I'm scared about tonight. Take me.
So, Jamie, Jelly Babies out of 10.
Jelly Babies out of 10.
Terror of the Zygons.
It's a tough one. I really enjoyed the effects of the Loch Ness Monster.
Oh, you didn't.
What was I thinking, like, was it good for the time?
Probably not.
Because even right now, I could believe what was happening.
Yeah.
And I felt like there was some stop motion in there as well, which is very standard of its time as well. I remember watching some old Lost World films where the guy would be running through the village or whatever, and there'd be a stop motion dinosaur running after him. That's just what.
Claymation.
Ray Harryhausen was the master of stop motion.
Those sort of things which remind me of my childhood. You know, those were the sort of films I used to watch. I used to record them on VHS and just rewatch them. It's a videotape. Videotape. It's like Google it.
We tried to.
I'd give it an 8. I'd give it an 8. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Jelly Babies out of 10.
Right. I would give it. I'm going to give it an 8 and a leg.
8 and a leg.
Yeah, an 8 and a leg. I think you are right in giving it an 8. I just think it needs a leg as well.
Okay.
Because dismembering Jelly Babies is what I do.
I'm giving it 9 and a head.
9 and a head.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Oh, he's a head.
Yeah. Just one more thing as well. Some remarkable. The best acting in the entire episode, story really, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Was when we had to hold her breath.
Yes, when she was.
Some of the finest acting in the all of Doctor Who is when the Doctor gets woken back up and he does a scream.
Yeah.
He does a weird noise when he goes to sleep
Into
as
his,
well. Yeah. What is that noise that he
call it?
makes? Sort of trance. Yeah. What is that noise that he makes?
I learned it from the monks of Utah.
Yeah. Excellent.
So,
There's once over the Terror of the Zygons. I was away in...
I said terrorist as I can
Terror of the Zygons. I was away in Mallorca a few years back. I was on a coach.
You met a Saigon?
No, I was on a coach trip, and the person next to me leaned over and said, "Look at the ocean. Doesn't it look calm and empty?" And I used the line, "It may be calm, but it's never empty." And that person never spoke to me again for the rest of the coach trip.
Well, when you can drop Doctor Who lines, you know.
So,
We have.
Whoniverse or hogwash? That I have behind a very questionable magazine.
Yeah, it does look kind of risque, that magazine.
Risque. So
Is it a copy of Nuts magazine?
I don't think she's enjoying herself in that picture, really, you know. Just to make you aware, it isn't anything like that. It seems to be an advert for a holiday.
It's an advert. Something.
Simply Be? What is Simply
It's
Be?
an advert for something. Buy something.
Clothes.
Available in some
Clothes.
shops, but not others.
Available in all good retailers. So we've got Whoniverse or hogwash. I've been listening to the previous episodes, as I keep mentioning, and every episode, it's either a draw or Brian wins, and it's just slowly extending his lead every single time. Currently, it's about 10-7. No, 13-7 or something. You're not in double digits yet. That's what I'm saying, Lewis.
I'm not too far behind that. I feel like I
Is
can
this
come back in
total
this.
points scored? Because I thought we were playing up to 207 or something like that.
We're playing to 100 points.
Right.
Each, so if you get a grand total, the maximum number of points you can get in a single game is 10 points. You get 1 point for guessing if the episode is Whoniverse or hogwash, and another point for guessing if the description is Whoniverse or hogwash. Just to make it clear, it can both be hogwash. They can both be Whoniverse.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, if both episodes are Whoniverse, if both the episode and the description is Whoniverse, they're not necessarily from the same episode either.
Okay.
Just to make it more confusing.
Are you still getting your friend to write them, or?
Yeah. These are also written by my friend who doesn't want to be named.
Okay.
They're very wordy.
He shall not be named.
I had to trim them down. I'm still quite long.
Mm-hmm.
So. Whoniverse or hogwash? Whoniverse or hogwash? She's as real as a freak. Whoniverse or hogwash?
Going down, Bri, you're going down.
Who won last week?
I must
I
break you.
You won.
I think I did. Did I win last week? I think I won by 1 point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the week before that, I think I won as well. So.
So you think that's where you evened out? And got,
Oh, you
Yeah,
beat me
yeah,
last
yeah.
week because it wasn't a Whoniverse
I was
hogwash
gonna
last
say,
week.
No, but it was the week before. And
So, alright, so winner goes first. You both agree that Lewis won?
Yeah.
Fine. Lewis. It's kind of funny, actually.
Okay.
On the planet Int, 2 nations are at war. One nation develops a new explosive and loads it on a boat headed for the enemy capital city. The TARDIS materializes on the boat and the Doctor quickly ascertains its purpose, but they cannot leave due to an electrical interference. An invisible shield that blocks incoming rockets. The Doctor cuts down a mast and uses it as an oar. Turning it back, they drop the shield so it can fire rockets at the incoming boat, allowing the TARDIS to escape. Now, what he's done here, rather than give a description, he's written down the plot for each and every single one.
Entire script.
It's like you know what happens at the end now as well. So
Spoilers.
yeah. So Whoniverse or hogwash?
Okay. I'm gonna say hogwash.
Hoggity hoggity.
What's the story called?
Deadly vessel.
Oh, I didn't get the title before because I thought it was The Planet Int was the title. So.
Do you want to change your answer?
What's it called? Deadly Vessel.
Mm-hmm.
Deadly Vessel.
I can repeat it for you if you want.
No, that's fine.
I probably did forget to read the title.
I'll stick with hogwash, but you did forget to read the title. Be more careful in future.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I agree. I think it's total hogwash.
Wow, 0 points each.
Nope.
Wow.
It's Whoniverse, a 4-page comic story published by TV comic annual 1967.
Wow, we are getting obscure now.
Yeah, we're getting
To be fair,
very
it's
obscure.
always been obscure, really, hasn't
Yeah.
it? Next. Let's make sure you can't see the other side of the sheet.
No.
Brian,
Mm-hmm.
the Sorcerer's Apprentice. There's no such thing as magic, the Doctor said. Just to make clear, the Sorcerer's Apprentice is the title.
Yes.
There's no such thing as magic, the Doctor said. The world of Avalon might just prove him wrong. A place populated by creatures of fantasy, where myth and legend rule. Elves and dwarves live in harmony with mankind. Wizards wield arcane powers, and armoured knights battle monstrous dragons.
Right. I've adopted a new approach for Hogwash or Whoniverse. I'm calling it Hogwash or Whoniverse for a start. It's like taking a penalty. I've decided where I'm putting the ball. I'm not changing my mind. Whoniverse Hogwash.
What's the title again?
The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
I'm gonna go with Whoniverse. Probably wrong, but let's do it.
Well, Brian, you get 1 point. It's Whoniverse. It was the first Doctor novel in the Virgin Missing Adventures line, published in 1995.
Excellent.
Wow, but Lucy in the lead for the
Yeah.
first time ever. This is crazy. Whoosh. Lewis,
Yes,
if you want to maintain your lead, you better get this one right.
certainly do want to maintain.
I have to give him credit on this one, by the way, guys. This is up there with the clown in Sarah Jane Adventures, where no matter what you guess, you will not believe if it's real or not.
Yeah, okay.
Okay? The not so sinister sponge. It gets better.
Go on.
It's Canine's birthday. To celebrate, Romana takes the TARDIS to Barastabon to fetch cake from a master baker's. After a brief detour in which she fells an alliance of the master, Daleks and Cybermen, she returns with the cake. But before they eat the cake, it comes to life and asks politely not to be eaten. Afterwards, the Doctor deduces that it's probably from the arcane, building of the planet, and the cake asks to live the rest of its life on Barastabon, where it lived the remainder of its days.
What's this title again?
The not so sinister sponge.
I'm gonna go Whoniverse because that has got to be. It's too funny not to be.
Well, he is a creative writer, just so you know.
Yeah,
he writes by trade. So
That's fine. That's fine.
I was also going to go with Whoniverse, but I'll make it interesting and say Hogwash.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, but it's Whoniverse.
Ah.
This is a short story from the anthology Short Trips and Sidesteps, published in 2000.
So it's a short. Yeah. Fair enough. It makes sense in that way. But that title is just the not so sinister sponge. Excellent.
Brian,
Yes.
what's the score?
It's 4-1 to Lewis at the moment. I think I may need to rethink my technique.
Shadow of the Comet. The Doctor and Clara arrive on a high-tech planet, Rokari, where they discover that soon a comet will hit. They also learn that the way to save the world is to decipher an ancient text. The locals don't believe their warnings and state they have outgrown written and recorded language. They discover a hidden library with info on how to use the planet's defense system. Clara figures out the language and activates the defense system.
Whoniverse Hogwash.
Okay.
Clara couldn't figure out a simple thing.
What's the title again on this one?
Shadow of a Comet.
Shadow of the Comet. Hogwash.
You said Whoniverse Hogwash.
Yeah.
You get 1 point. You get 2 points.
Excellent.
It is Hogwash.
Yeah.
First one you ever got right, actually.
Wait, didn't I get the one before that right?
No, I mean, the title comes from a point-and-click adventure from 1993, a game based on H.P. Lovecraft's Cthulhu mythos. The description comes from the 18th episode of Stargate Infinity, a short-lived animated
Stargate
spin-off.
ones. Lewis has a massive advantage.
Well,
He actually had no idea.
That's the first Stargate one.
He's never got one right before.
No, I actually had an inkling that was Stargate, but that is the first time
Can
I've
you
ever
do
gotten
Doctor
a
Who
Stargate
titles
one.
and plots from Alvida's Pet next?
What was that last one?
If you do Doctor Who titles and plots from episodes of Alvida's
Alvida's
Pet, then I'm in
Pet.
with a shout.
Okay.
Just a thought. Planet of Terror. The lads tried to build a brick wall. And Oz causes trouble with the Germans again.
So, I think this is the last one,
Okay.
And I can't win.
Yeah, no, you can't.
but you can close the gap though.
Yeah.
Keep the gap.
It's always
Always
worth
trying.
trying, yeah.
Who went first last time? It's your turn now, Lewis.
Is it?
Mortal engines. The TARDIS lands on Numa, a world in the middle of an industrial revolution. But the Dr. Joe and Mike Yates find a land in upheaval. The sky is alive and at war with the ground. The continents are on the move, competing for a place under the sun. Sounds like it's an actual TV show, actually, called A Place Under the Sun.
Right, okay. And this is called
Mortal engines.
Mortal Engines. I'm going to say Whoniverse Hogwash.
Okay.
Whoniverse.
You get 1 point, Brian. Lewis. It's Hogwash Universe. You get 0 points. One of the few times it actually happens in the show.
Yeah, fair enough.
The title is from a novel about cities that run an apocalyptic Earth, also a recent film. The description is from a novel, Speed of Flight, part of Virgin Misadventures line, published in 1996.
So what was
6-3.
6-3?
6-3.
6-3.
I think that's the highest score we've ever had on Whovian Universe. One of the highest, at the very least.
Very good, very good.
No, I don't think anyone's had the full score of...
What's going on, Brian?
That's the worst you've ever done, by the way.
It is. I still say it's unfair that using plots from Stargate.
It's one question.
Universe.
It's one question. I got 1 point from that question.
To be fair, every single time where there's been a Stargate one, he's got it wrong. He's got that part of the question wrong. So it's been a title, he's got that wrong. If it's been a description, he got that wrong. And this one was very cryptic. Did you know it was Stargate?
Yeah. Well, I had an inkling it was, and it was due to something that was said in the description. But I haven't seen the animated version, the Quest. Stargate Quest. So.
Well, I'll let the writer of Whoniverse Hogwash be a bit more cryptic when writing it then.
And introduce more 70s sitcoms.
Yeah, we had some happy days in there. Hey!
British 1970s sitcoms. We could have, based on the plots of episodes of Whatever Happened to the Lightly Lads.
What are some good British 70s sitcoms though?
Porridge. Whatever Happened to the Lightly Lads.
Porridge was earlier than that.
70s it was.
I remember watching them at mornings before I went to school.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't go to school.
It's all right.
Do you mean you
Hello,
remember eating
and all
it
that sort of thing.
before going to school?
Now, growing up, I didn't have milk in my porridge. We put water in our porridge.
I still do.
You still do?
Yeah.
Poor man. Once you go milk, you never go back. So, and that's the end of the show. Thanks for listening.
Before, be sure to follow us on Twitter. I'm Beej007.
And I'm Watson's Musings, and of course you can always follow Lewis in real life.
Oh, check out me at Twitter at Lewis Elbrook14 and not Elbrook. What is that number there? Is it 139,749,000,000?
You can't read,
So
can you?
so and so. Be sure to check out our YouTube channel of the same name.
You've been listening to Whovian Whoniverse. Have a week!